Let's have a quick shave. Wolfman. I believe this is the 85. No. 50, 54. 54 gap. This is a WR1 from Wolfman. And it's really smooth and mild, and I really enjoy it. Haven't used it too many times. The reason I'm whipping it out is because I just unwrapped this feather a few days ago, and I've been running it through my Feather ASD2, and I put it through my Gillette Hybrid Tech. Now let's put it through another one of my favorite razors. A sharp blade like this in a mild razor is really fun for me. I get really good shaves when I do that. This is the 1250 from Semogue. This is in my Boar brush lineup. This might be the last of my Boar brushes to have only 16 uses, and so now they've all are going to have 17. It's been soaking for a little over an hour. The soap we're going to use is the same one I used yesterday or last time, Steampunk from Tabula Rasa. I was disillusioned, a little bit disappointed in it yesterday because it's an expensive soap, but it wasn't really any better than a $13 soap like Chiseled Face. And it's a cream, a little bit less for your money. The scent is actually kind of an old wooden crate. It's kind of a musty wooden crate, and so I don't know if that's the scent of the soap base. This came out 5 years ago, and so I don't know if there was only one run of it, and so this is a 5-year-old cream, and creams don't really hold their constitution very long. Maybe that's part of the problem. Now, it's a respectable shave soap, but in terms of paying $30 for a tub of this stuff, based on my experience with this one, I wouldn't do it. But just in case I ran it a little too thin last time and wasn't able to feel the luxury, I'm going to do it one more time. So I'm going to take out my trusty little 1/4 teaspoon scoop, and we'll actually get a little bit more than a 1/4 teaspoon because we're going to mix it richer this time and see if we get a richer, luxurious lather that might be worth that high price tag. I definitely bought this used because I am not into paying that much for kind of an untested weapon, if you will. And but I mean, always remember during watching this video that this is maybe an older soap, and so this particular scent might not be a good representation of this soap. The description of the scent kind of sounded nice. The cedar might be the only thing that's really kind of coming through. All right. So there. Now let's load the feather into the razor. Feather blades do come with those irritating waxy dots to hold the blade on the wrapper, probably just for manufacturing purposes, so it can go through some kind of machine, you know, and all that. All right. Some blades don't have that, some do. So these rails here on the top cap keep the blade centered perfectly. So let's see how a nice young feather works in this beautiful and very comfortable razor. Splash water on my face. That's my pre-shave routine right there. All right, let's get this Semogue out. Cool water I'm using, and it is hard water at this location. Shaking much of the water out, and I may not even use or add any extra water like I did last time. I added 1 teaspoon. So steampunk is kind of a Victorian era theme that some people have really latched onto. I think it's pretty neat. A lot of the machines are they are given a vintage look to them. Not too much in terms of electrical stuff, mainly steam powered and that sort of thing. A little gadgety, but kind of in a classy, vintage sort of way. So let's see if this thickens into a kind of a luxurious lather instead of the workable but unimpressive lather I had yesterday. Unimpressive when you look at the price tag, is what I'm saying. It's fine for a $13 soap. Okay, let's go ahead and add just a little bit of water. Half a teaspoon. And we'll shave with this and just see, because I can always add a little bit of water to my brush and thicken up what's on my face in case I do it too dry. A little bit on the airy side. All right, so this brush has the Semogue grade of hair, I believe, called Best, and it's a step down from the premium, not quite as soft as the premium or the special grade. Special grade is what is used in the Semogue Owners Club. The premium is what is used in the 830 and the 1305, for instance, and this is extra or best grade, and it is I find it very enjoyable as well. Definitely a soft brush. Many of these tips have split. So let's just see if this lather that we have, so this is the 1250 Semogue brush. All right, I'm gonna water my face a little bit. Displays very easily. Almost kind of too easily. However, it does come back to center. If you press it and then you back off a little bit, the tips do come back, so they do stay on your face. It's not a big knot. You're not talking about a lot of density here. So this does look a little too dry on my face. So I don't think it's one of those that I messed up and added too much water to, and so that thinned it down too much. I just don't think this particular soap is going to give you a rich, thick lather. At least this one isn't. So I'm adding just a few drops of water, and that is turning it a little richer. A little too dry before. If you like soft brushes, then this is a really nice one. Easy flow through. Very light on your face. I don't think it's going to give you any brush burn or anything like that. And it's inexpensive. That's what I love about these Boars. It's just crazy how inexpensive they are. This is not super soft. Let me say that. You know, it is the best grade. The other ones are a little nicer. But this one just has a lightness, a light feel to it. Maybe it's just less dense than the 830 and the 1305 that are the premium grade bristles. So now we'll switch to painting. A little bit of airiness to the lather. And so that's why it's not going to give you something super creamy and amazing. So I feel like I've given this particular tub of Tabula Rasa its best chance. A little bit of blade feel here with this Wolfman and the feather. This razor probably does a little better with other blades for me. Of course, it could also be the soap. Maybe not protecting my skin quite as well. It really could be that. So I may have to try this same razor tomorrow with a better soap. This can sometimes happen when your soap gets a little too dry. Doesn't protect you quite as well. All right, there's your rinse. So now let's get some more lather. And this guy's going to get softer because not all of his tips have split. Cross grain now on my cheeks. That first pass didn't cut as many hairs, or let's say it didn't cut as closely as other configurations. So it looks like the feel that I got during that first pass was accompanied by a lack of closeness. That's unfortunate. Sometimes you can tolerate a little bit of roughness if you know it's cutting you very nicely. All right, I think we're good. Second pass down. All right, during the break after the rinse, I went ahead and lathered up again. Let's see if now we can get some good close hairs taken off. Definitely interested in trying this feather blade in this razor again, because for this lather at least, it's not nearly as good as most of the other blades that I've put through it. Maybe that's the way it is. Because of the geometry of this particular razor, it just may not match with the edge geometry of this blade. And there's nothing really wrong with that. Just got to find the good match. Sometimes you're lucky. You can have a nice razor and then the cheapest blade in the world that's still a good quality blade, like maybe a Wilkinson sword or a Derby or something like that, can then be terrific for you. A great shaver. You just never know. That's why you got to try. Get a sampler. Tryablade.com is a great place if you are new, or if you have only really latched onto one blade and maybe you've got a new razor in and it's just not working out too well or as well as you might like, you just feel like expanding your horizons. There's a top 10 sampler at tryblade.com, and he's taken his top 10 best sellers. So statistically, you're more likely to have more winners in that group of 10 blades than maybe another group. And so I would recommend buying 2, maybe 3 of those top 10 samplers, because you get one blade in each one if you buy one. So if you buy 2 or 3, now you've got multiple blades of each one that you can make sure you give a good try with, and then you can know have some good experiences with trying some popular blades, and try them in all your different razors. And sometimes you can find a golden combination that just suits your skin and beard and lather all perfectly. So in terms of closeness, this gave me a pretty good shave. There are still a few hairs right here without doing a touch-up pass that have a little bit of length on them, but still a very presentable shave for 95% of the jobs out there. Who knows, maybe even 99% of the jobs out there. But it just wasn't all that comfortable. So who knows which variable it is. Could be the razor and the blade together right now just aren't matching. It could just be the lather. It needs to be improved on. So we'll see. We'll keep these items the same for the next shave and change to a well-regarded lather, and see what we get. I think that's what I'll do next. Let's see what kind of post shave we have. Well, I'm about to go to sleep, so I'm going to pick a nice, easygoing, kind of sweet-ish scent. Tuscany, I believe it's bergamot and maybe orchids or something like that. And to me, it's really kind of just a wild cherry scent is what I'm getting. A little bit of spice to it, and a little bit of sweetness, flavor, all those things are there. And it's a balm, and so it'll absorb just like a lotion. It's basically just a face lotion. It's got some healing stuff for your skin. If you want to freeze frame, you can see those things like witch hazel, aloe, meadow foam seed oil. I'm reading things backwards. So grape seed oil, that's pretty common. Shea butter, so vitamin E. Some nice stuff. I enjoy their balms. Use them frequently. I've got maybe 4 of them. I often don't match the soap with the post-shave product. I just have a few post-shave products, but a lot of soaps. So I just pick whatever's the closest or whatever I feel like. Most of the time, the soaps just don't have the strength to carry you too much farther than the existing shave. And that's the way they were designed to be usually. And that's fine with me, because then I can use whatever soap I want, whatever crazy fragrance, whether it's Midnight Stag or something nutty, then my wife is not encumbered by that, because that fades from the soap. And this is what comes along that she smells on down the road. So how much water did I add in? After shaking out the brush, leaving it lightly wet, I added the ½ teaspoon, and then as you can see, I added maybe almost a ¼ teaspoon when I was adding drops to the brush in the first pass, because it was a little too dry, and it did help it to make it more creamy. So that's how much water I used. How much soap, how much lather do I have left? I bet I could get 2 passes out of that. So, the right quantity, just not really the right consistency for a $30 tub of lather, in my opinion. But like I said, this could be a bad test case. It could be an old soap, or one that was exposed to high temperatures during mailing, or who knows. So, full disclosure there. I'm going to clean up. Well, there we go. Nothing else new to report. Man, I like this Tuscany. It's pleasant. It's smooth. it's a good scent for me in the evenings. Don't really need to dump on a bunch of cologne genre scents right before jumping into bed, you know. I remember one time years ago, I chose that morning before heading off to school to spray myself with some kind of cologne that my parents had gotten me. I must have been in high school or something, I don't know. And I had oversprayed and I was just potent. Then all of a sudden I discovered I was sick and I had a fever and discovered that I had to spend the day in bed smelling myself. It was not pleasant. Not pleasant at all. All right. Well, I hope this shave had some good stuff for you. Maybe if you're wondering about the Tabula Rasa, I don't know if this gives you too much information or not. I hope that there are some users out there who have tried Tabula Rasa and maybe can compare it. My lather was not nearly as good as something like Stirling. Definitely not as good as something higher like Holy Cow, Barrister and Man, Noble Otter, or even small Declaration Grooming, or even smaller companies like Storybook, Summer Break. Soap Commander has a better lather than this guy. Fine Accoutrements does. Just about anybody else. Maybe even Perazzo, and that's not a good compliment for Tabula Rasa. So I hope to hear from some other folks. Maybe my experience was just with a product that had been through too much life and it wasn't a good representation. But it's, it is what it is. So there we go. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves, and you have a good night. Take care.